Salaki got interrupted by, one of my co-workers, man. But anyways, what I was saying, man, learning from Apostle Tahar on down, man, and what we should be doing, to get ready for Jacob's trouble, man, for all hell ready to break loose on Babylon, America, which is Babylon the Great, man, that great whore, man, because, hey, shit's about to go down, man. There's been all types of shit going on, man. These bread and circuses got people all, entertained. They're confusing the masses, distracting the masses, giving them bread and circus, man. But the brother, the brothers in the truth, man, and the few sincere sisters are doing what they got to do, to get right before the great day of the Lord is come, man. This is Ecclesiastes 2:5. For gold is tried in the fire, and acceptable man in the furnace of adversity, man. We're going to go through certain adversities, man. But, the scriptures say, the Most High doesn't tempt us above what we can't take, man. He's not gonna give us a temptation higher, than something that we can, how do I salak it, man? It just escaped my mind. But he's not gonna give us, a trial and tribulation that we can't handle, man. It's the best way I could put it. He's not gonna, right here. He's not gonna tempt us above our measure, man. He's not gonna give us something that we can't handle. Verse 6: believe in him, and he will help thee. Order thy way upright, and trust in him. Yea, that fear the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, wait for his mercy and go not aside, lest ye fall. Yea, that fear the Lord, believe him, and your reward shall not fail. Yea, that fear the Lord, Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, hope for good and for everlasting joy and mercy. Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken, or whom did he ever despise that called upon him? For look at the generations of old, our forefathers, man. Job, he went through a lot of shit, man, but the Lord never forsake him, man. And that one precept that I always think about, with Job, I think it was Job or Salakia, but it says, forsake your children, those who forsake, mother, brothers, sons, daughters, shall inherit 100-fold in the kingdom, man. Hey, the Lord's going to look out for us, man, if we trust in him and do what we're supposed to do, man. Verse 11, for the Lord Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is full of compassion and mercy, long-suffering and very pitiful, and forgiveth sins and saveth in time of affliction. And, we should be, we should be striving, to be saved in times of affliction, man. For that hour of temptation, man. That Michael chip, that motherfucker, that Esau Edom was about to, declare, mandatory, man. A martial law is about to go down, civil unrest, civil war. All these things are coming down the pipeline, man. And the prophets, the apostles and elders and prophets at GMS, they're telling you, man. They're telling you what's coming, man. It's the book of Matthew chapter 24, verse 13 to close on out. But he that shall endure until the end, this same shall be saved, man. So, if you're doing what you got to do, man, pushing out lessons, going to camp, edifying and feeding the sheep, man, the Lord's going to look out. But with that, I hope this lesson was edifying to the whole full elect. I'd like to give all praises to Yahweh, B'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, B'Hashem Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. With that, I'd like to say Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, Baraka Thumb, Ababa Bosh.